60, The Answer.
With the power of Tandem HR, you are in the fast lane on Main Street with Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs. Now, the champion of networking, the advocate of jobs, the guru of business, your host, Shalom Klein.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. In business, we talk a lot about business here. You are on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you won't want to miss. You can always get on my website, shalomklein.com, download podcasts, find out who is going to be on next week on this show all about entrepreneurship. So I'm thrilled to be joined by an entrepreneur, an entrepreneur that happens to make some fantastic food. Yes, indeed, we are talking with a new restaurant owner here in Chicago. Thrilled to be joined by the brand new owner of Evita, which is an Argentinian steakhouse in the West Rogers Park area. Michael, thank you so much for joining us and Get Down to Business.
Hi, how you doing, Shalom? What's going on?
Fantastic. Well, you are bringing authentic Argentinian food into Chicago, and it's actually kosher food, which is really exciting. I had the opportunity to taste some of your fantastic menu items. Tell us the story. Why did you bring Argentinian food to Chicago, and how are things going so far?
Oh, well, everything goes back, around almost 15 years ago, year 2001. And, I'm a Sephardic Jew. And, as all the normal Sephardic, if you can call it this way, my father listens a lot to the Kabbalistic rabbis. So he used to contribute a lot to one particular rabbi who he said that instead of, going to learn the yeshiva in Eretz Israel like all my friends do, I should go to America because it opens your mind and it broadens your spectrum and it teaches you life. For people who are not born in America, America is a great land of opportunities. So he was absolutely right. So my father listened to him, and instead of going to Porat Yosef, like all my friends did, I ended up going to Tel Yeshiva in Chicago, and that marked me for life. Number one, because the level of learning is actually very good. And number two is because I got to know Chicago, and Chicago is the city of Chesed. It's how can I say this? People in Chicago are very different than anywhere else in the United States. They are very caring. They're really really into helping each other.
That's great.
So that touched me a lot.
Well, let's talk about the food. Let's talk about the food.
I'm going to tell you exactly about the food in a minute. So the thing is that after that, I learned 4 years in Chicago, and I decided that this is the place where I want to live. So I came back home, and I started working, and I opened a small bakery with my mother. And Baruch Hashem, after that, we became very big. And after the bakery, I opened a small sushi place, which is, by this day, I have 3 locations at over 60 employees. And we became the number one dairy restaurant in Argentina. And, it was the time to move to the United States. So I told my wife, we're going to Chicago. We moved here with my kids, and we opened this restaurant in Chicago because, as you know, the only thing that I know how to do is how to sell food. And I realized, in one of my recent trips to Chicago that there is a lack, in a quality kosher restaurant, based on the amount of people that we have over here. I made a quick math, and, if you take, the number of how many Jews are in the tri-state area in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, all that area, and then you divide by how many restaurants we should have like 63 restaurants, and we don't have. So there's clearly a market for more.
Well, I always judge restaurants. It should be good food that I keep kosher, of course, and it should be good food that happens to be kosher, and that's exactly what we've succeeded in doing. So I know you're still in the sort of soft launch of the restaurant, and
yes.
you're trying different menu items. There's some There's some fish items. There's a lot of meat. Really, really, really good meat. What is Argentinian food? How do you describe it for our listeners?
Well, Argentinian food, it is basically a lot of meat, good quality meat. Usually it's grilled, and it does not have to have like a crazy amount of sauces. I'll give you an example. I've been invited to a lot of American barbecues over here, and it's anything on the grill with barbecue sauce on top. Well, it's not Argentinian. Argentina, it's all about the beef. It's all about the marbling. It's all about the quality. It's all about the animal. Argentinian beef, it's not grain fed. It's free range, so it's a little bit more gamey. And we just season the meat with a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of olive oil, and off to the grill. And then we add a little bit of salt, for flavor, just to cater to American parents. But, roughly all the meats that we sell, we try to focus only on the flavor of the meat.
That's fascinating. And let's talk about the location of the restaurant. So you are on Lincoln Avenue in Chicago. Yeah. It's a great location. When I pulled up, I was able to find parking pretty easily on the street. But the venue, I know you've put a lot of work into the decor and the vibe and the feel and the level of service in the restaurant as well.
Exactly.
I want to talk a little bit about that because Chicagoans, in the kosher market, we don't have as many options, but Chicagoans have a lot of options for food. Why Evita? Why is this restaurant better than other restaurants?
Okay, when I wanted to open something in the Americas, as I told you, my question was, what should I open? Should I open a dairy restaurant? Should I open a meat restaurant? And then I realized that most of Chicagoans are like meat people. People really enjoy meat over here. It's like it's a Midwest. So I actually from the business point of view, I thought that there's not a huge market for another dairy restaurant. But there is a big good market for another, maybe meat or maybe fish restaurant because people are more willing to try that than something else. So I needed to, I want to open a meat restaurant. And then I have a very good friend who's helping me a lot with this. His name is Jake Weiss. And he actually had the idea about the decor. And he said that, it should resemble like a ranch or something like that. So he helped me a lot with this, and he went and he bought some reclaimed ranch wood, and we made all this wonderful decor that you've seen. So
it's a great venue, and there's indeed great service. So right now there's a limited menu that's available. I know you're working on your liquor license, and very shortly, not only will people be able to have great meat, but combined with some great wine as well. When do you anticipate a full launch of the Evita?
The great news are, Shlomo, that Evita Hashem for lunch, I'm planning on bringing two of my former employees from Buenos Aires, and they are like a specialty chefs on Argentinian food. So I was told that here in Chicago it's very important. It's very important. The lunch is very important because a lot of people have like lunch meetings. So I don't want to disappoint. So I'm bringing these two guys to Mr. Shem by the end of November, and we're going to have like a special menu for lunch, and it's going to be truly Argentinian and truly authentic. So, but that's a surprise. That's a lead that you have. I haven't told anyone else yet.
That's exciting. A special scoop here and Get Down to Business. So, Michael, we are quickly running out of time. Once again, we're chatting with Michael, the owner of the Evita Argentinian Steakhouse in West Rogers Park in Chicago. Great restaurants. Great restaurant. I've taste tested myself. I can't wait to come back over the coming weeks. But Michael, how can people find the restaurant? What's the address? How can people make a reservation and contact you?
Sure. Yep. You can make a reservation through our website, which is evitasteakhouse.com. Or you can just give us a call at 773-463-8482, or just show up over here. It's 6112 North Lincoln Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. We're always open. We welcome you. And, Shlomo, you got to tell people that we are the only kosher restaurant that we truly open late. We are currently closing about 12 o'clock every single night. So it's a blast. You know, there's finally a place in Chicago when you can have dinner at like 10:30 in the morning and no one will kick you out. So
enjoy the meat at all hours. That's certainly what you're teaching people to do. Michael, we appreciate your time here on the show. Get Down to Business. We'll follow your progress, and radio isn't the best opportunity to show off food, but we'll find ways to share the sensations of great food. But as always, I encourage you to check out the actual restaurant by visiting the website and by actually stopping by the restaurant on Lincoln Avenue in Rogers Park. Coming up after the break, we've got more tips, advice, and information for all you small business owners. You could always get on my website, shalomklein.com. That's where you can download podcasts from Get Down to Business. Find out who's going to be next week on the show, all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We are powered by our good friends at Tandem HR, your solution center. Check them out, tandemhr.com, or call 630-928-0510, 630-928-0510.